This is the stuff that like nerds shove other nerds into lockers for. Like that kind of thing. Like it's not the cool stuff.
That's okay.
Anyway.
Hi, I'm Sharon.
And I'm Erin.
And welcome to episode 6 of the Sampler Style Flosstube. My pronouns are she, her.
And my pronouns are they, them, but I'm, if people forget sometimes, I don't really make a
I
huge
forget,
deal out of it. Yeah.
and I'm going to be forgetting, so if I do, I apologize in advance.
Yeah.
And welcome to episode 6. I have a very special guest today. This is my daughter, and yeah, I'm so excited that you're able to record with us today.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. I'm not really used to putting my face on camera.
I was saying that to my other show. I was saying that you're very, not shy, but you're elusive putting your face online. However, you do have you do have a YouTube channel of your own where you don't show your face. Can you tell a little bit about it?
I started out by playing Elder Scrolls games, like the first Elder Scrolls, and then I went to Daggerfall, and then things got really busy for me, and I kind of put it on hold for like 4 years. But then recently I started playing Dwarf Fortress, and I started watching a very, very good Dwarf Fortress YouTuber, and now I record myself playing Dwarf Fortress, and I've been doing that for 7 episodes now, once a week.
So, Emma's referring to video games.
Yes.
Let's Plays. That is one of your hobbies. And tell a little bit else of what you like to do for fun when you're not working. She works.
Well, I like to cross-stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get back into drawing.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're going to give me that you're going to sell me that iPad this weekend.
So, story about the iPad. I have a iPad Air 4, the newest generation, and I absolutely love the iPad 4. I haven't had an iPad since I worked. I got a free iPad with work, but I had to give it back, obviously, when I retired. And I got an iPad 4, and I really love it, except for one thing. Do you know what it is?
It was too big.
Nope. Nope. My iPad 4 that I bought in the fall.
Oh.
The one I'm selling you.
I don't know about that.
You don't know
one.
why?
No.
Okay. So, I absolutely love it except for one thing. It has, in order to unlock it, it has a fingerprint reader.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't really have fingerprints.
It doesn't read my finger. So, every time I go to try to unlock it with my finger, it doesn't work. And I'm not sure if it's, I think my fingerprints are just worn away maybe from dyeing yarn. Could be. I've tried every finger. It just doesn't work. Somebody at the Apple store said it could be because my hands are cold. Because I do have that issue. So it doesn't work. So the new iPad, the iPad Pro 11-inch is what I'm going to buy. And I'm selling you the old one because you probably still have fingerprints.
Yeah. I mean, I use a fingerprint to unlock my Mac for work.
Okay, then you're fine. So anyway, I am selling her the Air, and I'm getting the new 11-inch iPad Pro, which has Face ID and Face Unlock. Because I don't like right now I don't even have a password on it because it just drives me nuts that I have to type in a password every time I open it. Anyway, that's more information that you need to know. So tell us a little bit else about yourself. You have knit in the past, many, many, many years ago.
Yeah, it just never really stuck.
Yep.
I don't know why.
And that's fine. Not a problem. How about crochet?
Crochet is kind of the same.
Mm-hmm. But you like crochet.
I mean, it's okay.
Yeah. But
I don't know. It's stitching together. Yeah. Maybe it's because you know what I like to do.
I do.
You know why I like to cross stitch.
I do. So why don't you explain it to everybody? How did you get into cross stitch?
I don't know. I was seeing people make some pretty funny ones on the internet, and I'm like, well, I do kind of like to sew. Like, I had sewn dolls a few times back when I was in college.
You like to hand sew.
I like to hand sew.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, that might be a nice hobby for me to pick up, given my affinity for hand sewing. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it stuck so much is because I like, it feels like a little puzzle. Mm-hmm. I always kind of liked little grid puzzles, like when they were teaching us how grids work when I was a kid. I was always into them. I don't know, if you know what Picross is, it's like a puzzle type where you have to count numbers on the top and
remember you playing that.
the top and the side, and then you make a picture based on the clues with the numbers. And I love Picross. The harder the better. I really like colored Picross because it's harder, and it's a lot like CrossStitch.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I have an affinity for puzzles. Mm-hmm. It's like puzzle Picross games and ant farm simulators are my favorite genres.
Yeah, for sure. So honestly, I didn't discover a love for CrossStitch until like a year and a half ago, and I've got a few years on you, so it's pretty cool. So we actually started cross-stitching together, really.
Yeah,
right around the same time. So I'm very anxious to see what kind of drawings you're going to be doing with your new iPad.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make some thumbnails for my YouTube channel, and then something happened in my Dwarf Fortress game today. Not the one that I do for YouTube, but when I was playing just for fun while I'm here on vacation. And
it's going to inspire you.
It inspired me quite a lot to make like a comic of like the chase out of the mines into the surface after we dug too deep.
Yes. So Em has a very unique artistic style. I would say that you're very artistic, and your style is really in cartooning. So yeah, your cartoon style was always really very unique, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do on the iPad. And you do like to draw digitally. Yes,
I do. I mean, I really should be practicing on paper, but I don't. I don't know. I don't really feel motivated to.
Paper is difficult.
Yeah.
I don't like paper at all. So, okay. So, why don't you show a little bit? I'm going to actually, before you start, I'm going to let you show this. So, this is a gift that you gave me.
Yes.
For my birthday one year.
Yeah, a couple of years ago now. And this is the very first piece that I actually, finished. It's a Yorkie, and it looks a lot like Jamie.
It does. It looks exactly like
I went onto Etsy, and I looked for a Yorkie pattern, and I found this one that just happened to look exactly like Jamie. And I was like, that'd be perfect. And it took me 5 months.
Yeah, I love it. I treasure it. So it's on my hutch.
Yep.
So, okay. So that was one of your first pieces.
It really was.
Which is incredible. If you look, it's really a full coverage.
Yeah, I enjoy full coverage because it's a lot like the Picross stuff.
Yeah. I do not enjoy full coverage. Okay, so this piece here I did for you.
Yeah.
And I've shown it on this show before.
Yeah.
It's, I can't remember the name of the pattern, but I'll put it down below. But a lot of this is full coverage, like the eyes. All of the pieces are pretty solid with a lot of shading.
Your back looks really good. You always tell me that my backs are really, really amazing, but yours are that's amazing.
Thank you.
That's really good.
Thank you.
That's better than mine.
That's the back. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Well, anyway, this was so hard. This took me a long time because talk about 50 Shades of Grey. Oh my goodness. This has so much. It drove me nuts. And I'm a perfectionist, so I had to make sure that, I know there's mistakes in here, but oh my goodness. It was crazy. And I honestly would much prefer simpler samplers than this crazy. You see that.
Yeah. And we're just complete opposites when it comes to our stitching preferences, but that's
okay. Fine. That's what's great about stitching, because there's so many different genres of stitching, really. When I first started looking at samplers, I was like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, am I attracted to this? Am I not? And then the more I watched Flosstube, the more I fell in love with samplers, the look of them.
Yeah.
So. All right, so why don't you show some of your other work?
Well, this one I've had on my lap this whole time. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be finished for years. It's going to take me a long, long, long time. And, you know, that Yorkie one, like, I did in 5 months, so you might think that I'm going to do this one sooner, but, like, it's just a lot, because it's basically like a big tapestry. So this is what I have so far. And it's supposed to go on its side like this.
Oh, okay.
And then go like that way. Mm-hmm. And then, so this one, it's supposed to be like a tapestry of like not the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbitt book, and like all the events in it. And here down here, you can see like I have Bilbo's little silhouette down here, and there's like a troll, and there's gonna be like a sun rising above the troll, and I got some mountains. I actually just noticed those mountains because I've been stitching it like this the whole time,
wow.
and I didn't notice. Yeah, because it's easier for me to see the pattern and to like just stitch it. From the side like this.
Oh my god, that's so interesting.
Yeah, and then I just keep the pattern on my phone, like, you know, tilted.
Well, that
like
makes
this.
sense. The only thing, your stitches are going to be, well, when you hang it, you're not going to notice it because it's really a tapestry.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you have a photo of the finished pattern on your phone?
On my phone? I don't think I have a photo of the finished pattern on my phone.
You know, like the cover work, the cover of what it would be. So if you don't have it, I'll put it in here. I'll find a photo. And put
it's on Etsy. Like all my patterns are from Etsy mostly. Maybe we could link those.
Yeah, I'll link them.
I'll send you all the links to them, and then they can see what they're supposed to look like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's the name of this one?
I gotta look it up.
Okay.
I don't remember any of the names. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I'm gonna put them all down below, and maybe I'll put a little bar down here and say what the names are. So yeah, that's beautiful already. I was very impressed. I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's a lot of colors because like there's a lot of shading in this.
You have to go shopping in my DMC stash.
I do. There's a few colors.
We can do that right after we finish.
Yeah, there were a few colors I had ordered, but I guess like there were a few that I wanted but forgot to order, either because I thought I had them or I just like skipped over them by accident and thought that I had put them in the basket. But yeah, it's gonna take me a long time because like the cloth is like this long. And I tried to like, you know, make sure I had enough space, so it might not come all the way down here. Hopefully it doesn't, but yeah, like it's just gonna be a big piece, but it's scratching an itch.
Yeah.
Cross-stitching.
Well, like, cross-stitching I'm finding is more about the journey than the finish line in a lot of ways.
Totally.
Process. I'm a process knitter. I enjoy the active knitting. I like the finished product, but the joy in it comes from the act of doing it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Same with cross-stitching. Anything else you have to show us?
I brought pretty much everything.
Well, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I want to see all your stuff because I haven't even seen them.
I just gotta get them all out of this bag.
Yay.
Someday I'll have to design like a dwarf fortress kind of pattern because like I'm sorry I'm so obsessed, but that's just how my YouTube channel is, and like that's always on my mind lately.
It's quite all right. I get it.
It's not even like a cool nerdy thing. It's like if I played Minecraft, that'd be one thing.
It's very niche.
Yeah, this is the stuff that like nerds shove other nerds into lockers for. Like that kind of thing. Like it's not the cool stuff.
That's okay.
Anyway, so this is this pattern is a reference to my favorite podcast called The Adventure Zone, and it's from the McElroy brothers. If any of you are familiar with those guys, and they do a podcast where they play Dungeons and Dragons all together. And, yeah. And this is, you know, just a fun quote from that, their first arc, The Adventure Zone Balance, which is my favorite. I haven't listened to the other ones very much because it's the first, I just want to re-listen to the first one.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love this. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was really easy.
And you know, I'm really loving the stitching on Ada. The Ada, first of all, this Ada is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the other Ada is so soft and nice.
Yeah, I got it from the Stitch store over in...
So, we've gone to
Yeah.
the stitching place up in Poughkeepsie or in Hyde Park together, and you got a lot of
I got that one
fabric
from there.
up there. This is really beautiful. I love this. You have to have this. You could send this and just have it finished in a flat fold.
Yeah, I noticed
Is
there's a couple
couple-
spots that I still need to fill in.
Yeah,
Not
that's-
too much.
I
But
have something like that today too.
Yeah.
I love this. I actually listened to the Adventure Zone with you.
Yeah, I put it on while we were in the car.
Yeah, and I've played Dungeons and Dragons with you.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
That's my other thing I like to do. I totally,
Mm-hmm.
totally forgot about that because I haven't done it in a while because my group's on hiatus.
It's hard. It's been very hard with pandemic, with the social gaming.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, so
Okay.
what next? I haven't seen some of these.
This one is from a kit.
Love it.
And basically all the stuff that I have is just nerd crap.
It's okay.
But yeah. So, it's Jurassic Park. People should know that quote. Clever girl with the raptors. And I saw it on Etsy as a kit, and I was just kind of shopping for kits, and I thought it was funny. So I just picked it up.
So do you mind if I show the back? Your back
Sure.
is beautiful too. Look how beautiful this back is. Yeah, you cover up your ends by stitching over them. That's
Yep.
cool. I try and do that. I'm not as good at it as you are.
Yeah, and it's a lot harder when you're doing, like, confetti stuff, like on the bigger Hobbit one.
Yeah. I love that. I love the colors in this. They're beautiful.
Yeah, it was
Really pretty.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
The back stitching looks nice.
Yeah.
You're good with back stitching.
Yeah, I don't like to do it very much, though.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
That's typical.
Well, that's the other one also had back stitching. And there was a lot of it there.
That was beautiful in
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Okay.
And then this one, I think this might have been the second one I had finished. It was either this or the Yorkie that I finished first.
I remember you working on this when we were up at the lake
Yeah.
house.
Like I said, like I don't do samplers like you make. I do like crap I find from nerds on Etsy.
That's totally fine. I love this stuff.
Yeah, it's like this stuff is gonna hang in my office when we eventually go back to the office.
Yeah. Where's that quote from?
It's from a song. From the song "Party Up" from DMX.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've heard it, but.
y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. Up in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
yeah.
one. Have you heard that one?
I
You
have
know
heard
that one,
one.
yes.
Well, I like hip hop music, so yeah.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
Absolutely. Love
Let's
that.
see. I don't know if I
That's
have
cool.
other finished stuff in here. A
That's
lot
all
of
right.
these are
Show
whips.
some of your whips.
Some of my whips.
Because like all of us, you have a bunch of whips.
Yep.
And you stitch on Ada as well. Not Ada. You stitch
I
on
got this
linen
one.
as well.
You gave me this linen.
Yeah, I gave you the linen. It's 28 count.
Whoops. I dropped it. I dropped some spools. Oh well.
That's all right. We'll get them later. I'm always dropping things when I do this show.
Yeah, so this is a whip.
Is pretty.
On the bottom, it's supposed to say, "And in a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit." So yeah, and all the Hobbit, Lord of the Rings stuff. I'm into that stuff.
Awesome.
And yeah, that's just a Hobbitt Hole door, and like there's gonna be like a tree coming up with leaves and stuff. And I don't know, I just kind of put this one away for a minute just because
That's
I
okay.
wanted something else to work on.
Do you you normally stitch with 2 threads over one strand with Ada and 2 over linen, right? You stitch with two strands held together?
Yes, on both.
Yes. Okay. Because I've gotten to the point where I only stitch with 1.
No, I like to use both.
And that's fine. This was stitched with 2 over 2.
Yeah.
And it really makes it pop.
Oh yeah, that's why I like it. I don't like to do the one. The one just seems kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on the
like no offense to you or anything, but
no, none taken. If you are on anything below like a 32 linen, I think the
that's
2
it.
strands look better. Okay, awesome.
This is my last one, and this one I got really bored with this one.
Yeah, I
got
know.
so bored because it's the most domestic. It's the most like traditional sampler sort of one. Like it's the least nerd one I have, and it's supposed to be like kitchen measurements. where like it's gonna be like ounces, cups, grams along the columns, and then like the conversions of them down. But yeah, you know, the different conversion numbers.
You also have a keen interest in baking.
Yeah, I don't bake a whole lot because I'm only one person,
Yeah,
and
it's hard.
I live in a house of one, and I don't want to bake too much.
Yeah.
And then cooking
Not
is
be
like,
able to
I don't
finish
really
it.
consider cooking like a passion or a hobby. It's just something I need to do to live.
Eventually, the baking will come in good handy to you. I made cookies yesterday, so we're all home. The kids are home, and our son's birthday's today, actually. And he had friends over for his birthday, and you all get along because you all are about the same age, and so I had these kids coming over, and I'm like, well, I gotta have something for them, even though they were all going out to eat. So I just whipped up a batch of chocolate chip cookies, and I'm like, yep, I'm that mom. I have all the stuff, all at the ready, in case I need it.
Yeah, and like I made macarons because I went to an Airbnb with some friends. I hadn't seen these friends in a while. And I used to have these guys over at my apartment like every week. And then the pandemic hit, and then I moved away. And so I was at an Airbnb with friends just, for a hangout for a week, and I made macarons and I brought them, but they didn't come out so great. I mean, they still tasted okay. But they
Your
weren't
friends
like
liked them.
macarons.
I made them the first time, and you helped me. So that's how we kind of got into making macarons. They are not an easy cookie, especially if you don't have a lot of experience with baking. And I've been baking all my life because my mom was a huge baker, and she showed me a lot. And I have a lot more experience than you did, especially with the meringue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whipping that meringue.
It's like whipping the meringue is fine. I can whip to stiff peaks. I know what that looks like now. But folding is where I always, I made 2 batches of macarons, and the folding was where I got caught up every time. That's where I screw up.
I think you overfolded.
I overfolded.
So I slightly underfolded mine, but they were delicious, and they were fine.
Yeah.
They were perfect,
Yeah, the
actually.
chocolate ones I definitely overfolded really, really bad, and they were chewy.
I didn't try yours.
They were, my friends liked them just fine.
Yeah, because...
But, if you're expecting macarons, they just weren't macarons.
Next time, we will have to make them again.
Well, no, I gotta do it by myself.
Yeah, I know.
Because I gotta, make sure I gotta be able to do it.
That's right. Exactly. But I want to be there just watching because I want some at the end. My problem with macarons was the delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Because you got to wait, really, until the next day before they're good. So, all right.
You could eat them right away. They're just not going to be as good as they could be.
True. They're not. The next day is really when they shine. You put them in the fridge, and then all the flavors come together, and they're good. Okay, so that brings me to my stitching.
Yeah.
And my cat wants
Thomas.
to get on top of my stitching, and he's
Thomas, come here.
not going to. I'm not letting him.
My cat. Oh my god, yeah, and my cat.
Yeah.
My cat.
She has a cat.
My cat doesn't get into my stitching, on purpose. She won't jump into a pile of Ada and string just to be a cat and play with string, but if I'm trying to stitch, she gets onto my lap and she gets all up in my business, and if I'm leaning back, she'll get up on my chest and just put her butt directly into my face, and I'm like, stop.
She's a bad girl.
She is. I love her so much.
She finally, I would say she was semi-feral. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's gotten used, she loves you.
Oh, she loves me.
She's gotten used to me when I come visit. She didn't run away the last time I came.
No, she was
good.
Yeah, because you weren't there with Troy last time, so.
Yeah, and she likes Troy too, but I don't know. The last time when Troy and I came, she got a little nervous.
Well, that was the first time I had guests over
That's true too.
In that apartment.
Mm-hmm. But well, she's used to being home all day too, and she's not gonna be happy when Em goes back to the office.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
Okay, so I actually just about finished this piece. This is Coming to America by Brenda Gervais. And I am done except for I need to do the back stitching on the ship. You have to put the rigging.
Oh.
There's rigging and the back stitching on the gulls here. And when I'm done with that, I'm finished with it.
Nice.
How exciting. So, any guesses on where I'm going to hang this when I have it framed? Where do you think it would go in our house?
Somewhere near the living room,
You think?
maybe?
I'm thinking in Dad's room.
Yeah.
Because it's more nautical down there.
True,
Yeah.
true, yeah.
So down in the man cave where Rich has all his stuff. We actually have model ships down there. I think it would look nice.
Yeah.
So I loved stitching this. I loved it because once you get bored with one thing, another thing starts. And I love the colors. The muted colors are my jam. I just love, well, I love color. I love all color, but
Yeah.
as far as my decor, I decorate with more muted tones, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't worked on any of my other whips, which is fine because I really wanted to finish that, and I am just about finished with it. The reason why I haven't finished it is because it's probably going to cost me a lot of money to frame that, and I need to save up some money to frame it because.
Oh yeah, because Stephanie's gift was like,
Yeah,
that was a lot.
That
to
was
frame.
a lot
I
of
was
money.
surprised.
That one, yeah, I was a little surprised too, but that's okay. It was beautiful, and but I just want to save a little money to get it done. So I did have a new start because that's what one does when one finishes a huge project. That's a lot. That was a lot of stitching. I have to say.
Yeah.
I started it last fall, and I didn't get much done, just the border and maybe part of the ship. And then I really started working on it in earnest in January, and I planned on finishing it by February, but then I got distracted with the piece I did for my step-granddaughter and her husband for their wedding. That took me another month and a half to finish.
Yeah.
Then I got back to this one, and it's done now. So I started this one. This is Gott 1848, and this is by Needlework Press, and I think it's an exclusive from the Attic Needleworks in Arizona, and I ordered this from them, and I really love this. Like, this would look beautiful in our house, don't you
Yeah.
think? I think it would fit in really nicely because I have a lot of reds in the house and the neutrals, and it's very, very pretty. So they have some information, a little bit of information on Anne Gott. Anne Gott stitched her sampler in 1848, likely in the UK. It was a leap year during which much of Europe was plagued by a wave of revolutions. I'm not going to go read all this, but it just said, Anne stitched her cheerful sampler amidst the chaos of the times. A lot of things went on at that time. And they say, may you be well and stitch. So the threads came from the Attic. These are the threads. And I love to put my threads on here, on these thread drops. But you like to put yours on bobbins still.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's just a different style. And I went crazy. Oh, I wanted to show something with this. Hold on, let me turn this on.
So something that I find interesting about us, I guess maybe it's a generational thing, but you like to stitch off of like those nice fancy booklets that you can only get like physical form that people sell for quite a lot of money. And then I go to the Etsy or some other site that like I was linked to from Tumblr or something, and I get these like PDFs. And That's just.
I think people should charge the same amount of money for PDFs as
I think that they should, yes.
Because artists need to be paid for their work. But I have to say that I've totally gone over to your side. You can't get this except in this form. You can't. They don't have this in PDF.
Yeah.
So if you want a sampler like this, I find that with knitting, most knitting patterns, the most popular ones nowadays, are in PDF form because you can get them on Ravelry. Stitching, not so much. It's mostly, I shouldn't say mostly, it's becoming more PDF, but there's a lot of theft with it too, and that's not right either.
That's a big problem.
It's a huge problem, and I'm not down with that. But anyway, so how I get around that, I have found that I really prefer, I hate paper, so I am not going to be able to stitch off this chart with this big giant piece of paper. So I have this nifty invention downstairs called a scanner.
Oh, yeah.
So I scan all of my patterns into PDFs, and they all live on my phone in a notes app, and I stitch from that.
Yeah, and it's fine if you're not putting them on the internet for people to pirate.
No. I would never.
No, that's not okay. But
I would never share that.
If you bought, your pattern, you should be able to do what you want with it for yourself.
There's differing opinions about that. I mean, people say, "Oh, you should never scan a pattern."
Oh,
but I am a very honest person. I would never ever do that.
It's like crappy DRM policies that end up making things inaccessible.
Yeah. So anyway, it works for me. I have a huge phone, and I just prop it up. I turn it on and leave it on and stitch from my phone. Yep. And I absolutely love doing that. I just came to that, actually. Yeah. What I was doing before that, like this thing, okay, so this thing was a whole different ballgame for me. I actually needed, so it is a PDF, so I printed it out, and I had to print out just this part and then lay it on the fabric and stitch with it right next to it, because otherwise I couldn't see it. I couldn't look over here and then look back. I had to have it right on top of the pattern in order to do it.
Yeah.
It's just the way my brain works. But not with the phone and the samplers, I can do it with no problem. Have my phone and just keep looking back and forth. So this pattern I started twice. So I think I showed you a few weeks ago another fabric choice that I was going to use. And I started it on a piece of 36 count Ale Edinburgh linen by Picture This Plus. And here is my very small start. And I could not really see the pattern.
Yeah.
I did not see, especially the red is fine, but the green really fades into it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm also going to show you, I restarted it on another piece of 36 count Edinburgh fabric in Picture This Plus, and I started it on Heartland, and look at the difference.
Yeah, that definitely looks a lot.
Right?
That's a lot easier to see.
Right? So, and if you could even see these greens, the green I stitch it, like if I was going to stay with the Ale, the darker fabric, just hold that out for me. If I was going to stay with the darker fabric, I would have had to switch out that light green. And I really didn't want to do that. So I switched the fabric. But look at the difference in the color of the green. This is the same floss, the green. It looks so different on the Ale than it does on the Heartland. Can you see the difference in the color?
Yeah.
Look how the color, it's the same floss.
Yeah, it's one of those like optical illusion
Yeah,
things.
it's an optical illusion because of the background of the fabric. So I'm really happy with it here on the Heartland. And I think it's coming out really pretty. What do you think?
It does look really nice, yeah.
And what I love about these antique samplers is that mine is going to look so different than this. Because this is, I believe that this is the antique. A photo of the original. The one that was stitched in 1848. This is the actual sampler, a photo.
Interesting.
That's what a lot of people are doing now. They're getting these old samplers, or buying them at estate sales, and then reproducing them.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
see?
that's, you know,
I'm gonna talk her into it.
well, I mean, I just respect that, like, from an, you know, just being important. I think that archiving things is important.
Yeah, I do.
And so I very much respect doing that kind of thing.
I'm going to change some things on this. Like this says, "A present for you, my dear aunt." So I think I might leave off the word aunt and then just put "a present for you" and then put and then dear down here.
Okay.
Just leave it as "a present for you, my dear."
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put my initials, maybe the date. So we'll see. But yeah. Anyway. So I love how it's going. So this is where I am right here. So I'm doing I just finished this flower motif, and I love it because it's not really super complex. There's not a lot of shading and all that. I'm not into that. I'm just not. And that's the beauty of stitching. You can find things that you know you're going to love, which is great. Stitch what you love.
Yep.
That's what one of the stitching floss tubers says, Brenda. She says, "Stitch what you love." So that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, if you gotta love your hobby, I mean, why do it otherwise?
No kidding, right? So the only other thing I wanted to show you was haul. So anyway, I did a little online shopping, and the reason why I'm showing it to you right now is I always find it interesting. It's fabric. So I want to do Modern Folk Embroideries year-long stitch-along from last year, not this year. And I wanted it kind of like on a very light fabric, like a white. So I love this Bramble by Picture This Plus that I started a project on. I started this.
That looks cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the golden purple.
Isn't it gorgeous? This is Il Fazzoletto Ricamato. It's an Italian sampler that was stitched on a hanky. And it's going to be this big on this size because it was like on 80 count. So this is 40 count. So I love this color. So I ordered some on 36 count. It looks totally different. Well, maybe you can't see it on camera. But this is more green. I'm going to hold it back.
Yeah, I can see it.
This has more of a green tone to it, and this is more of a gray.
Yeah, I can totally see it.
So I think I'm going to exchange this. And I got it from 123 Stitch, and they have a good return policy. So I think I'm going to exchange it for a different color, a lighter. So let's see how that looks, because I have some of that. I think it's Tycho, and my piece of Tycho 36 count looks almost white with a little variegation in it. So we'll see, because it all varies. Linen is crazy. It varies so much. So I could also dye some. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I think I'm going to exchange this. And that is it.
Okay.
So your stitching plans for the future, you're just going to continue?
I'm going to continue on to my whips, especially that big Hobbitt one, even though I know I'm not going to finish it right away. But I just it's fun to work on. Mm-hmm. And then I have a couple other patterns that I haven't started yet that are in my, I purchased them and then never did anything with them yet. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll start those at some point. And I do have some Aida, I think. Or no, I have some linen that you had given me. I should have brought it so you could, serge the edges. I really should have done that.
Well, that's okay. It's not like you're not coming back.
Yeah. It's not like I don't have other things to work on.
Yeah, so. I know. So, yep, that's not a problem. Okay, so with that, thank you so much for joining us. And I love having you on because of all your unique stitching, and I love talking with you about your fun hobbies, and yeah.
Yeah.
So we hope you all have a great couple of weeks, and when I come back, it'll just be me. But, yeah.
Maybe I'll have you on my show.
I would love to come on your show.
Our audiences wouldn't overlap very much.
They would not.
Unless you like Dwarf Fortress. I don't, anybody out there, like, even if you've heard of it, it's like, yeah.
I actually had no idea what it was, and then I started watching,
course.
And it's nice to listen to your voice when I'm stitching.
Yeah.
I'm actually following the story. It's pretty cool.
I mean, story.
Story. But it's fun. It's lots of fun. You're funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Take care. Stitch something beautiful. And cheers.
Cheers.